Richard Harris.
I just was asking the commissioners for an update on the progress moving forward for paper ballots.
So I'll kick it off and start it, and if we could, this is gonna be an ongoing discussion, I'm sure.
Sure.
So what I'd like to do is just give you a quick overview of what I've done, pressed for time. So I've called many different counties that do paper ballots. It runs seamlessly. They take in fact, I brought this in. So this would be 500 ballots is what it would look like, okay? So this isn't ballots, these are another card stock that we use, but this would be 500. You could have 1,000 for voting, so you can see that it's not a lot. You'd have to have a machine, a marking device for special needs people. You would have to have, each precinct would have a scanner, and then that scanner would be, would have a thumb drive, would also have a printout at the end of the night. So the voter would go, they would hand them a paper ballot, or they would vote on a machine upon request. They would go and they'd fill in the ovals. They would then take that and they would put it into their scanner, their optical scanner, which that's what the law says, everything has to be recorded by optical scanner, so it does not have to go on the ballot. So we could change this as Board of Elections at any time. The ballot then, that came from the hand of the voter, would drop into a bin. At the end of the night, they got a thumb drive, they have a printout. So there's very much duplication of the record of the vote. And then the ballots would have to come back to the central location, which would be here. I talked to Wyoming County, I talked to Lancaster County, I talked to Butler County, I talked to another one that escapes me, and they have no problems with it at all. And they're, you know, they brought in all their poll workers and stuff, and they made it a big county unification. One county, and I'm just gonna tell you as far as hand counting, unless you needed to do it for an entire county, one of which I think both Lancaster and Butler both told me that when they hand count the entire county, it always comes out different. The optical scanners and stuff always bring it up. But what Butler County does is they put all their precincts, their number of each precincts into a box or something. They draw one, and then they check it by going and doing that at a hand count. So I'm gonna sit here and tell you for the 500th time that our county's elections are run well. Nate Smithcore, our director, is terrific at it. But I will go on record, I do not like our machines. People can vote on them safely and stuff. I'm under the where I stand, one day, one vote, paper ballot. That's where I'm at. And but people in Bradford County can have confidence in their vote, and I want the press to hear that loud and clear. Renee Smithcore and her team does a terrific job. Our poll workers do a terrific job. But I think to restore confidence throughout the Commonwealth and the nation, we have to get, in my opinion, back to paper ballots where I started when I was here. And then, so that's where I'm at anyway.
Yeah, I've had nobody question Renee's office or anything as far as elections go, that everybody talks to me and says, you know, what a great job they do. That's not a question of it. The question is, the general public does not trust the machines, and we're losing voters because they don't figure it counts.
And I hear you loud and clear. And I'm just going to ask
no
all.
confidence.
And we got to move on because we're.
Well,
I understand.
I think I'm allowed an opportunity to.
Real quick, if I could just finish up. Exactly. So, Bradford County voters here at loud and clear, get out and vote. No matter what party you are, no matter who you're going to vote for, go vote. However, I will tell you this: in southeast Pennsylvania and other parts of the county, 2 city blocks, with drop boxes and ballot harvesting, I feel it could completely wipe out the votes in Bradford County. It could even them out. I'm just telling you. So I want to see uniformity, and I want to see honest, fair elections instead of just jibber jabber. Our state legislature gave away with mail-in ballots. I don't like mail-in ballots, and we lost a whole bunch of other things in that stupid legislation, Act 77, which was found unconstitutional in the Commonwealth Court, by the way. Okay, I'm done. Sorry.
Okay. So taking them in reverse order. So the Pennsylvania Supreme Court found that it was constitutional.
Well,
The Pennsylvania Supreme Court found that there was not a problem with it and that it may continue, which is why we're continuing with the confines of Act 77, number one. Number two, I would again say that would be something that would be taken up at a Board of Elections meeting to discuss. I will say though that the county invested heavily in the systems and machines that we have now. And I would also just note that there's, again, as I think I've heard here today, no finding, no demonstration that there's a problem with our machines.
Well, that's not true, Zach.
In Bradford County, there has
That's true.
been, okay. Number two, there has been, you do get a paper ballot. When you go and vote, it prints out a ballot, it is on paper. You can look at it and see the votes that were cast. If there's a problem or you think that there's an error, you can bring that to your judge of elections and they can undertake to void that and allow you to go vote, and so that the ballot, if you believe was incorrectly cast, is cast correctly. So there is a paper ballot, that is what gets fed into the machine. Anybody who has voted knows that that is what happens. You get something back that you can look at it and see what vote was cast.
That's, so I'm gonna just, hold on, I'm gonna just, first of all, I was the plaintiff on that lawsuit. That was a hack Supreme Court decision. You gotta go read Judge Levitt, she walked you right through the Constitution and voting and it's interesting read. Number two, those machines aren't without fail. I've never liked those machines. They flew in, the manufacturer, the president or CEO of Unisyn, our machines, to talk to me about them, and I asked that man. I asked him right in this room. And by the way, their main business is making gambling machines. So right in there are these, can you get a modem in it? Because a lot of discussion back then. I don't wear a tinfoil hat. And is there any way that there can be a modem or Bluetooth hookup? Because people are asking me. Nope. Then we come to find out last year that barcode you get, you could go to each individual one and vote in that precinct. So I'm not gonna sit here and say they're without flaw. I am gonna tell you that our poll workers were without flaw and they wouldn't let it happen. So paper ballots, and yeah, it prints it out, but there's nothing like having the paper ballot that those people marked to go back and double check on. And by the way, you do get a printout at the end of the night, and you do get a thumb drive. But to have something the machine spits out to something people actually voted on is day and night. So we put enough time into it. We can discuss this at a later time. Have confidence in Bradford County folks. Our elections team do a good job. Get out and vote. We need it. The country needs it. Okay. Mr. Farley.